Hello everyone, it's Don once again with another look at the construction work going on here in the Villages. First up is Sawgrass Grove. You can see they've put the new water tower in at Sawgrass Grove. It's purely decorative in nature. Below the fake water tank is actually the structure that makes up the stairs going to the control room above the bar for lighting and sound systems. In this shot you can see they're putting up the bracing for the branches that make up the fake trees that hold up the canopy for Sawgrass Grove. You can see the bracing underneath each of the main branches in this shot. The second phase of the main branches is being unloaded. These will probably be the top cluster of branches on each of the main poles. There's still no word yet on when Sawgrass Grove is going to open, or for that matter, when McCrady's is going to open. Here's another shot of McCrady's. Word is that the facility is done, they're just having troubles getting enough people to properly staff it. You're probably wondering what this list of names is that's scrolling. These are the crew members of the USS Scorpion, which sunk on May 22, 1968. The exact cause for the loss of the USS Scorpion is still under debate today. By today's standard, at only 252 feet and 3,500 tons, Scorpion was a very small submarine. Today's Virginia class are about 3 times this size, and our Ohio class fleet ballistic missile submarines are about 5 times this size. During my naval career, I did 1 tour on a fast attack boat and 18 strategic deterrent patrols on 3 different fleet ballistic missile submarines. Today, being the anniversary of the loss of the Scorpion, and with Memorial Day right around the corner, it seemed appropriate to honor these men. The entire back half of the USS Scorpion was propulsion plant spaces. The front quarter of the ship was the torpedo room. Only a very small section in the middle was there for crew habitability and operational control. It is a submarine force tradition to consider the ship on eternal patrol when one is lost. This is the Southern Oaks Bridge. As you can see, the decking is now across the Florida Turnpike, and men are working to install the steel rebar that will help support the concrete roadbed structure. The bridge is being built with 4 automobile lanes and 2 golf cart lanes, so the Bailey Bridge you see here next to it will be coming down at some point. Here's the bridge 2 days later, and you can see all the northbound side rebar is now installed. And here we are again 3 days later, and you can see all the rebar is now installed for the decking going across both sides of the turnpike. At this end you can see they're working on the spans that will cross over the natural gas pipeline that's buried here. Now let's move on up to Magnolia Plaza, where we can see McDonald's is coming along quite well. Hopefully it won't be too much longer until it's open. There's another McDonald's also scheduled to be built right across the street from Brownwood in front of the Spar hardware store. Now let's bounce on over to the Omni building. It looks like the shell is done. The parking lots are all lined and ready to go, so it shouldn't be too much longer until we see build out inside each of these units. And at this end, this is where CVS and 7-Eleven are scheduled to go. Permitting is in process. It shouldn't be too much longer till we see these buildings coming out of the ground. At the far north end of the Villages is the new First Responders Recreation Center that's being built. It's almost done. It should be open within the next 2 months. At the recent evening with the developer, they were going on and on about how nice this is. What's amazing is the developer doesn't have a dime in this. This is all being built with funds that resulted from a lawsuit by several residents against the developer because there was not enough money in the purchase contract for the amenities to cover adequate repair and replacement. Of course, this brings to question the fact that if there wasn't enough money for repair and replacement, why are they using it to build a new facility? I'm not saying this isn't needed, but it seems a little misguided. Where will the money come from to repair and replace this facility? Let's face it, we're not as young as we once were. Climbing those old-fashioned attic stairs to get the Christmas decorations down or to stow those family treasures is just too dangerous. Majic Stairs is the safer alternative. Real steps with safety rails at a safer angle and safety rails in the attic provide the safest attic access available. Having troubles getting things to and from the attic? The Majic Attic Lift can be there to help. Designed by Villages resident Ron Berner, every Majic Stairs and Majic Attic Lift is custom built in their Ocala, Florida factory and installed by their technicians. Why take chances? For less than the cost of one emergency room visit, you can have Majic Stairs installed in your home. Majic Stairs, the safer, more convenient alternative. This is the intersection of Buena Vista and State Route 44, and under construction is the Buena Vista extension that will go all the way down to Megison Road. That's Wildwood Country Estates it's next to. You can see they've started building the median. Now there's 2 traffic circles on this. I'm not sure why. The area directly beneath the drone is all scheduled to be commercial space, so one has to assume that eventually there'll be exits for that. This area on the waterfront is getting a lot of attention, so it looks like there'll be something interesting going in here, possibly a restaurant or some other entertainment venue. They've been setting pilings through the woods here for the last month to support the roadbed going through this area. Obviously it was a wetlands area at one point. This is the southernmost section of the Village of Richmond. That's Warm Springs Avenue along the top. This section has a pool. All of these houses and villas are now sold. This is Ruby Villas. This is the middle section of the Village of St. John's. A lot of these homes along the waterfront have a huge backyard, ideal for putting in a pool. But there is no pool in this area, only a small postal station. Now we're in the northern section of the Village of St. John's. These veranda homes are at the very south end, and as we'll rotate around, we'll go up towards the Okahumpka Recreation Center. Again, there's no pool in this area either. I spoke to one of the real estate agents for the villages. They said, oh, well, they can go over to the Water Lily area. Other than that, they're going to be stuck either going 2 miles to the south, back to the southern section of the Village of St. John's to use that pool, or they'll have to take a longer trek. I'll show you the next closest pool in just a second. In my opinion, this was a major screw-up by the developer. Only time will tell for sure. There is another pool being built nearby. I'll show you where it's at. As we know, there's no pool here, but way over here in the Clarendon Recreation Area is where the nearest pool is. About a mile as the crow flies, a mile and a half or so by golf cart. Let's take a closer look at the Village of Richmond. We'll go in a little bit closer. This is the route we're going to fly. We're going to look all at the residential area being built and the golf course and back to the Clarendon Recreation Area. This is looking north. That's Brownwood at the top of the screen. As we look to the west, we're going to rotate around a little bit more. We see that they've started to build houses here. These are veranda homes, and they're using the tilt wall construction method that we saw over in the village of DeLuna. What's interesting about this is in the 8 years I've lived here, and the 2 years prior to moving here that I was watching homes being built, they always built courtyard villas first. This is the first time I've seen them start out with something different. Here we can see the neighborhood recreation area and its pool. This is the second pool in the village of Richmond. Of course, it's going to be a few more months before either pool is opened, even though homes are already being occupied in the village of St. John. We can see more and more streets are being paved here in the village of Richmond. Because of its proximity to Brownwood and its access to State Route 44, Richmond, I think, is going to be a very popular community come this summer when houses start to sell. We'll take a shortcut over these wetlands and we'll go look at the new pitch and putt course that's being built near the Water Lily Bridge. This really is a huge wetlands area, and it's pretty typical of what we've seen in the last couple of years in the areas south of State Route 44 and the Turnpike. As you can clearly see, a lot of progress is being made on the pitch and putt. In just a minute, I'll give you a closer look at this pitch and putt area. But first we're going to turn back around. We're going to fly over this wetlands area once again. It's really a shame people aren't paying attention about these wetlands. There are alligators in here as well as a lot of other animals. Unfortunately, about 2 weeks ago, a dog was killed, not even in this area. This was in an area north of County Route 466A, in an area that's generally considered pretty safe. But somebody was letting their dog walk without a leash and unfortunately, it was killed by an alligator. It could have been a lot worse if somebody had been letting one of their children or grandchildren walk around near one of these retention ponds. You gotta be careful, folks. This is coming up on the Clarendon Recreation Area. We'll take a closer look at this right after this word from one of my sponsors.
Hello everyone! New Teeth Now is proud to be a part of the Villages community. If you've suffered from lifelong dental problems, we can give you a new, healthy smile in just one day. Register for a free seminar with Dr. Alshar, our board-certified New Teeth Now surgeon, and find out how we can help you live your best life. Visit newteethnow.com and register today.
This is the mail station at the Clarendon Recreation Area. This was shot on Saturday morning, right after we had all that rain. This is the unit of veranda homes that I showed you just a minute ago. As you can see, walls are going up quickly. Based on past performance, my guess is around the middle of August, we'll see these homes go on the market, as well as a whole bunch of other ones that'll be started here in the next week or so. This is back at the Clarendon Recreation Area. We have some platform tennis courts, and these will be pickleball courts, and of course we have a pool. This is the starter shack under construction at the Richmond Pitch and Putt. This is a little bit closer look. You can see that the greens are not quite in yet, but all the skirting around it, or the apron area, is in. Lots of water features. This looks like it'll be a lot of fun to play. At the top of the screen is the course maintenance area, and just beyond that is the village of DeLuna, and the new area that's being built back there. The road running up to the right and top of the screen is County Route 181. So let's go take a look at the village of DeLuna and the area going on there. This is a close-up of it, and this is our projected route. We're going to take off right in front of the postal station. As we look behind it, this brown area is supposed to be a butterfly garden. I don't know how they're going to keep the lizards and birds from eating all the butterflies, but who knows. You can see the pool. Surprisingly, it's not complete yet. That's a little unusual for an area this far along in construction. So we're over the middle wetlands area that's in DeLuna, and you can see quite a few houses are being built. This place has really exploded in the last 2 months since they started work. Rotate around, and we're going to fly towards those first sets of veranda homes that were being built with the tilt wall construction. As you can see, up in the background, some of them already have roofs on them, so it's moving along very quickly. Now we're going to rotate around to the north, and we'll head back towards the postal station and recreation area. We'll go over the top of it, to that set of courtyard villas all the way in the top of the screen that's being built. Again, this is that tilt wall construction, or prefabricated walls, whatever you want to call it. It's hard to believe that about 2 years ago, this whole area was nothing but a huge pile of that red clay that they brought in. It's all been spread around. One of the things about this set of courtyard villas is you can see that it has a high wall in the background. It's also the land has been built up, so it sits a lot higher than the turnpike. This is looking now south towards the village of DeLuna and Marsh Bend. And we'll rotate around and we'll get another look at the recreation area. The title of this video is about a look at Megison Road. So let's take a look at Megison Road from its southern terminus at County Route 470 all the way back up north to where it meets the Homestead recreation area. This is the bottom of Megison Road. Along the tree line is County Route 470. You can see they've got the roadbed in, and they've got quite a few retention ponds built. There's some wetlands area that are being preserved, but it's going to be probably at least another year before we see any real activity like home building going on in this area. They got a long way to go from here all the way up to where Homestead recreation area is. If you're building a home in the Village of St. John's or DeLuna, be sure to give me a call or go to my website, goldwingnut.com, and see about a custom photo and video package to watch your home being built. While mistakes are fairly rare here in the villages, it's better to catch those little screw-ups early on in the build process instead of waiting till closing day. Coming up, you can see where they've started the cutoff that will go from Meggison Road to 470 without having to go another 1.5 miles backwards. So I've seen quite a few online comments from people who've seen my videos who say, oh, Don must be on the developer's payroll, they must be paying him to do this. Well, I can assure you that is not the case. In fact, I have been at odds with the developer since I started doing these videos. I've had them call the FAA on me. They've had a bunch of other things they've tried to do to put me out of business. All of that aside, I don't care. I'm going to make all that information available on my website here in about a week or two so everybody can see exactly what I've gone through. But in the interim, why do I say the things I do? Well, first off, after I retired from the Navy, I went into construction for 20 years. I know good projects when I see them. I've seen some really bad big projects in my time. This one is very well run. Second, I love the area that I live in. This is a wonderful community. Third, I've been serving as a district supervisor for the last 7.5 years. And during that time, I have seen so much misinformation put out. I started making it an effort and a goal of mine to dispel the misinformation and just give everybody factual information. I do all the research, I do all the digging, and I try and share that information with you here in these videos. This area coming up is the Franklin Recreational Area. Now, in a previous Continuing the Dream video, the villagers said that this area, there'll be 2 golf courses opened up by about November. Personally, I don't see it. It looks like it's really far behind. Let's get back to my relationship with the developer. Do I really care what they think of me? No, not really. I'm just bringing information to everybody. Yes, I have been at odds with the developer in my videos because I say things that they're not ready to be released to the public. Well, everything I release is all public information. I find it on public sources. They're not real fond of me sometimes for some of the things I do as a district supervisor. Oh well, I'm looking out for the best interests of the residents, contrary to what a lot of people might think. That's who I look out for as a district supervisor. Here you can see the curbing has been put in on Meggison Road, and they're starting to lay in the roadbed. The big rectangular pond on the left is just a retention pond. It's left over from when this area used to be a water reclamation facility for the city of Leesburg. Didn't make sense to rip something out that they were just going to have to build anew. And this is the Homestead recreation area. We're going to take a look at Central Parkway. It's located down here, and we're going to follow it basically from the turnpike all the way back to where it meets up with County Route 470 once again. At the top of the screen is the Village of Newell and the Florida Turnpike. As we rotate back around, we're going to look at the area we just flew over, and again at the County Route 470 and Turnpike interchange. We'll continue to rotate around and we'll look west and head in that direction. This whole area we've just been looking at is where the Wellness Village or the hospital is going to be built. No starting date or opening date for these facilities have been announced yet. So there's not a whole lot happening at this end of Central Parkway. Along these power lines, just on the other side, is where McNeil Drive is going to come down. That's the road that comes from County Route 501, goes to the Southern Oaks Bridge, and continues then south. That's cattle on the ground grazing. They're destined for McDonald's. All the maps provided by the villages so far show this area right here as having another golf course. I've been asked a few times how I managed to put these videos together. This map shows you all the routes I flew to put these last 3 video segments together for this video. The road running left to right at the top of the screen is Bexley Trail. That's the same Bexley Trail that ends up at the Ezell Recreation Center and comes across the Southern Oaks Bridge. Going up the middle of the top of the screen, you can see Central Parkway already being started. This light spot right here is where Eastport is going. Up ahead is the Village of Water's Edge. At the evening with the developer this past week, Mark Morris in his opening comments made some comments about influencers and how they seem to always get the information wrong. Well, I'm pretty sure I know who he was talking about. Honestly, I haven't seen that many things I've gotten wrong because I do my homework. Now, there are others who put out information that is definitely wrong. They don't do any homework, but I try and be as accurate as humanly possible and get all the information necessary before I make a statement. As we continue down Central Parkway, on the right of it is the Village of Lakeview, and to the left and in front of us is once again the Village of Water's Edge. The striped area ahead is the staging area for the utility companies for during storms. This is being relocated to an area along County Route 471. A lot of people have asked, why did they reroute County Route 470? Well, it's because this multimodal tunnel that you can see being covered here was right in the exact location where County Route 470 was. So it had to be moved. Just beyond and to the left of the traffic circle is where the Village of Moultrie Creek is being built. There has been quite a bit of permitting done for development on this village of Moultrie Creek. My guess is this is going to be the first age-restricted community to be built in this area of the villages. We'll continue on to the southwest, paralleling Central Parkway as we head towards the new high school. They've already built some of the multimodal path that parallels Central Parkway. As we start to come up on the high school, you can see there's been a lot of progress made in the last 2 weeks. It's absolutely phenomenal how fast they can bring these walls up. Once all the walls are up and the building is dried in, then the real work starts, doing the interior. That's going to take the longest. And they've only got a little over a year to get this school ready because they plan to open it up for the 23-24 school year. Roofs are going on some of the buildings already. Even though they're making good progress on the buildings themselves, there's still a tremendous amount of work to be done with all the athletic fields and other facilities that have to be built to support this high school. This is a monstrous undertaking. No sooner do they get some of the walls up than they pour a whole new set of walls to be raised in a few more weeks. The Village's high school just last week graduated their latest class of students. I had the pleasure of being involved with a scholarship program that was created by the Improv Club in my son's name. The essays I read by these students were phenomenal. What an amazing group of kids. Here we have the Early Learning Center on the right and the new K-8 school on the left. As you can see, both are coming quickly. These new school facilities represent a substantial financial investment by the developer in trying to attract quality employees to serve the villages. These schools will play a key part in the staffing plan for the new hospital and wellness center. From this traffic circle, you can see the roadbed is being laid in to connect the rest of Central Parkway back into County Route 470. I'm going to swing around and we'll look. This area here is where a dog park is going, and here's some very large retention ponds. Unbelievable how big these things are. This one here by the high school is well over a mile long. In this final leg of our video, we're going to parallel County Route 501 or Marsh Bend Trail from County Route 470 all the way north to Monarch Grove, and then we're going to fly over towards the new Southern Oaks Bridge. I'll use this utility staging area as the landmark for the start of our trip. This is the intersection of County Route 470 and 501. I have no idea what these circled areas are on the ground. Obviously they mean something to the developer. As we fly north, we see the area that's been cleared for the building of Eastport. At the evening with the developer presentation last week, Mark Morris showed a virtual fly-through of Eastport. It gave us a pretty good idea of what we can expect to see. Obviously nothing is set in stone yet, but they're pretty good at following through on what they present. Just north of Eastport is the village of Oak Hollow and the Oak Hollow golf course that's being built. This is a huge area that's being developed by the villages. Now some people want to say, well, they're being greedy. Well, no, this is a business transaction. And every business transaction has two parties. One walks away with a hope and a dream and a plan that their money has been invested wisely. And the other walks away with a check and a pocket full of money. This is absolutely no different than going to the grocery store, going to a restaurant, or even going to work and getting a paycheck. They've been moving utility poles for the last several weeks along County Route 501 in preparation for widening it to 4 lanes all the way down to Central Parkway. We're now in the village of Wellpoint. This village is located just south of Monarch Grove. I've spoken with a number of residents from Monarch Grove who are concerned about this area that's being cleared. This is all residential according to all the plans I've seen, so there's no worry about businesses opening up behind your home. This road that we're looking at is McNeil Drive. It's one of 2 major roads shown in the county road plan that will go all the way down to County Route 471. The dark area just to the left of the bend in the road on all the maps is shown as a recreational area. I'm assuming this is going to be a village recreation center like Water Lily and those. It's also shown to be the starter shack for the pitch and putt and executive golf courses that are being built here. This is where the pitch and putt is going in. And the executive course will be between McNeil Drive and the Turnpike from here all the way down to the Southern Oaks Bridge. On the right side of McNeil Drive is the village of Enfield. In a recent video put out by the developer, they said that the Southern Oaks Bridge would be open sometime this coming spring in 2023. It's pretty safe to assume that the bridge isn't going to open unless there's something to drive to or access. So that makes us wonder what's in store coming up for the next year. We'll be watching closely. One of the obvious things to expect is that the roads going from here all the way down to the new high school in Middleton will be open to make access much easier for the employees. This shot was taken a couple of days ago before they finished all the rebar work on the decking. We'll back out now and turn around and take a look at the view going back towards Monarch Grove. Well, that wraps up this video. Please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, Please support my sponsors. They really do help make these videos possible. I'm Don Wiley, and thanks once again for watching.